Hello, 8th grade students and parents. We wanted to share with you some of the information that was presented at our virtual back to school night. Most of you are familiar with the teachers, but again, Miss Porter teaches science, Mr. Bullock teaches social studies, Mrs. Blackburn teaches Algebra 1, and Mr. D'Amico teaches Math 8. Both Miss James and Miss Russo teach ELA, and Mr. Roach is a co-teacher in both Math and ELA with Mr. D'Amico and Miss James. Throughout the week, your students are learning about the team's online netiquette and Zoom expectations. We wanted to point out that one of the most important things is making sure that we eliminate distractions. Some distractions that are common are obviously cell phones, video games, and television. Even though our students are at home learning or outside of the school learning, we need to make sure that we set them up for success. And unfortunately, sometimes cell phones, video games, and television are easily accessible and prevent them from being able to focus. So telling our students that they need to eliminate those distractions and create a calm space is really important. Something else that we wanted to highlight was that if you need to turn off your camera, it is okay, but you are still expected to be present and listening during the lesson. At any given point, any of the teachers might unmute you and ask you a question, and if your camera is off, you are still expected to answer that question. We know sometimes with comfort and anxiety, it's a little easier to, turn your video off, which is completely okay, but please just make sure that you are still present. And last but not least, all school rules still apply, Just because we're not in the classroom does not mean that there are no rules. School rules are still in effect. If you received the information about the back to school night, you also received information on signing up for Remind. Remind is not just for parents. We encourage students to sign up as well because in high school, which is next year, you will be expected to take even more responsibility for your own learning. So again, we encourage both parents and students to sign up. You can follow steps A or B. They both get you to the same place. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Remind, Remind is somewhat of a virtual agenda, and it allows teachers to quickly communicate to students and parents any information that's important about the next day or assignments that they have. You can also reply back to your teachers as well, and it will go directly to them, not to the entire group, which is a nice feature. Please make sure that you are viewing the iPad videos and iPad tutorials that are on the Pocomoke Middle School page. If you look at the picture on the right-hand side, there's a tab that says iPad videos, and we encourage you to watch all of them. It teaches students how to download important apps from their iPads and set up their iPads so that it is easily accessible for them. Please make sure that you are using the Schoology website, not the app. The app does not have all of the features that the Schoology website has, and it is not as effective. Please also make sure that you download and use Chrome, given that a lot of the programs that we're using work better through Chrome instead of Safari. The student schedule for this week is here. Most of you are familiar with it. Remember, asynchronous is a time where students work independently and there is not a live lesson, and synchronous is a live lesson. Some of you may have received the student schedule for next week. Not much has changed except for the times. These times mirror more of what the students will be following when they get into the building. And I think social studies and math have been switched. So please make sure that you refer to this, take a screenshot, or use the paper copy that has been mailed home to you. We do have parent access codes for Schoology, and what this does is it allows you to see your child's progress on Schoology. You will no longer have to log in through your child's account. You will receive an individual code on Remind and instructions with visual prompts as well to walk you through setting up your own Schoology portal. So I hope that this was informative